We've got new details about Yoshinobu Yamamoto's contract, and the Dodgers have their eyes on this Japanese phenom pitcher. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020. Mookie Betts cranks it left field.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. I don't care how many times this team rips my heart out, I'll never stop loving the Los Angeles Dodgers. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McKain here. Friends call me D-Mac, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel for all latest Dodgers news and rumors 365 days a year. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: how do you feel about Yoshinobu Yamamoto's contract? Will he see the entirety of that contract with the Dodgers? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how high are you on Roki Sasaki, the Japanese phenom pitcher? Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers' new ace starting pitcher. Last season, the NPB, he was phenomenal. He won the Sawamura Award, which is their equivalent to the Cy Young. He has multiple of those. He has MVP awards. He's gone 2 seasons in a row pitching a no-hitter. He's at a sub-2 ERA. He has pristine command. He has lights-out stuff. He's going to have the best forkball in baseball as soon as he steps foot onto that rubber. Also has that rainbow curveball. I mean, this guy has a lethal repertoire of pitches. I predict that Yoshinobu Yamamoto is going to win the Rookie of the Year in the National League, and I even think he is going to finish with Cy Young votes. You see his routine where he uses javelins. I mean, this guy has some orthodox methods, doesn't lift weights, but he's a special pitcher. And today we've got some new details about his contract and some of the perks. Let's start with the perks. I love the perks in these contracts. And John Heyman of the New York Post tweet out, perks in Yamamoto Dodgers contract: personal trainer, physical therapist, interpreter, 4 business class round trip airline tickets, $8,500 max per round trip per year, 1 premium economy round trip airline ticket to LA for use by family per year, best efforts to make Japanese food available. So I love those perks right there included into Yamamoto's contract. You got the travel accommodations, you got the Japanese food. Now, I don't know if you're going to have Nobu Matsuhisa as the new Dodgers team chef, but I expect to see a lot more Japanese food around the Dodgers this season. And I think it's really cool that the Dodgers are willing to accommodate their players. And that's why I think you're going to see this as the marquee destination for Japanese players. Not just this year. You have the best Japanese player on the planet in Ohtani and the best pitcher on the planet in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. But I think for decades, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years from now, 100 years from now, someone will want to play for the Dodgers because Ohtani did. That's how important I think it is to have these 2 players in Dodger blue, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, as far as the new details about his contract, I think the most interesting thing is about how a potential injury could impact the opt-out clauses. Now, if he does suffer an injury, a Tommy John injury, an elbow injury, it is going to have an impact on those opt-outs. The deal includes 2 opt-outs, and more importantly, when those opt-out clauses can be exercised. And those are based on Yamamoto's health and durability, and if he can avoid injury to his elbow. The contract stipulates that if Yamamoto can avoid Tommy John surgery and 134 straight days on the IL, the opt-outs can be exercised after the 2029 and 2031 seasons. On top of the Tommy John surgery, if Yamamoto has any elbow brace, hybrid surgery on it, that IL or is on the IL for 134 straight days, the Dodgers own a conditional club option that sits at just $10 million for 2036. So translation, any major elbow injury would affect delay when he can opt out of his deal by 2 years. And Yamamoto will be 31 after the 2029 season, and if he opts out, he would forego the remaining 6 years and $170 million on his contract with the Dodgers. So that just tells you that, look, you're seeing more and more Tommy John surgeries. It's becoming more commonplace. It feels like it's a foregone conclusion for a lot of pitchers that you are going to suffer some sort of major elbow surgery at some point throughout your career. And it continues to grow. And look, the reality is 80 to 85% of pitchers that have Tommy John surgery, have successful Tommy John surgery, and that they return to the level at which they were pitching before the injury. They can get back to the performance level that they were pitching at before they went down. So, look, if he does have an injury, it doesn't mean he won't be a Dodger. It's just going to impact the opt-out clauses. And also, look, this is a good problem to have if you're LA, because if he does pitch well and if he does stay healthy, that means he helped you win a lot of playoff games, win a lot of regular season games. I'm hoping that he's in the Cy Young mix and that he does establish himself as a top 5 to 10 pitcher in Major League Baseball. We're going to play that clip from Jose Mota from a few weeks ago where he said that right now he would be the number 1 pitcher on any team in Major League Baseball. And this is coming from Jose Mota, someone who has spent a lot of time in Japan. He was the broadcaster during the WBC. He travels to Japan frequently and he's around those pitchers. So his opinion carries a lot of weight when it comes to Japanese players and their ceiling and potential. So I still think that it's a fantastic deal. And more details too, the Dodgers are paying Yamamoto $50 million in a signing bonus that they're paying in 2 installments in 2024 with 4 bumps in pay with some dips in the salary towards the end. And Heyman tweeted out, Yamamoto Dodgers, $325 million for 12 years, signing bonus $50 million, payable $20 million on 2/1/24, $30 million on 7/1/24. So that debit's going to hit, that direct deposit going to hit on 2/1, and $5 million in 2024, $10 million in 2025, $12 million in 2026, $26 million in 2027, $26 million in 2028, $26 in 29, $29 million in 2030, $29 million in 2031, $28 million in 2032, $28 million in 2033, $28 million in 2034, and $28 million in 2035. So you see it goes from 26 to 29 to 28, but there isn't deferred money, and you also have that posting fee at a little over $50 million, and then you also have the penalty to the tax. You're talking about a commitment of over $400 million to bring Yamamoto in if he sees the full length of the deal. And I think it's a deal you absolutely had to do, because guess what? You know who you didn't have to give up for Yamamoto? Nothing. You just had to pay money. The Dodgers have a lot of that. They've got a lot of those greenbacks, and a lot of that has to do with Shohei Ohtani deferring 97% of his contract. So they're going to be very cash flow positive, especially early on during this contract. So you didn't have to part ways with these elite prospects to get a Dylan Cease or a Corbin Burns. And yes, those 2 pitchers still could be options for the Dodgers. I would not rule those out, but you have found your frontline starter in Yamamoto, a guy that you were able to acquire at the age of 25. I've said it before on this show multiple times. It's not like a broken record, but I have to say it again. I can't say enough how rare that is to be able to get a talent at this stage of his career as a free agent. You're not going to see this very often in Major League Baseball, where you get a player at 25 where he's coming from the NPB. He's going to be unfamiliar to opposing teams. He's got lights out stuff, and you were able to acquire him because of your brand, of your location, because you're willing to pay him the amount you were. You have Ohtani on your team. So all the stars aligned for the Dodgers to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think it was the slam dunk, the perfect signing, and I think it's going to pay dividends for years to come. Now, I talked to Jose Mota a few weeks ago about Yoshinobu Yamamoto and how talented of a pitcher he was. And I asked him, how quickly do you think he's going to be able to transition from the MPB to the MLB? And will he be as effective as he was over here in year 1? And here's what he had to say.
We look at his stuff. pristine command. He limits home runs at an elite level. He's got an electric forkball, fastball. Do you think that he's going to have a seamless transition to the show and that he can be an ace of a championship level team in year one, Jose?
I would put him in number one right now with any team in baseball right now.
Whoa.
This guy's a true number one, man. There's no doubt that he attacks the zone with plenty of pitches around the zone, a lot of deception. Now, he does not even lift his leg up to pitch. I mean, and the one thing I've heard is about his physical makeup and his build. Let's not get fooled by these big 6'5", 230 guys, okay? I'm going to go back to the days of a guy named Pedro Martinez, okay? I'm going to go back to guys that were built. Greg Maddux, he started as a power pitcher when I faced him in the minor leagues, but became a finesse guy. But one thing that I've heard about Yamamoto is the fact that he's not too much into the weights and that regimen of weightlifting that's so prominent today in baseball, which Shohei bought into, and he's now one of those guys. But the guy knows how to pitch. Let's not get lost in that, okay?
Yeah.
He will have success as long as, at least for the first year or two, he is kept under the Japanese strict once-a-week type of pitching schedule. I saw with Ohtani, when it changed with Ohtani was not the same guy. So just introduce him to that. Save some bullets for later in the season when you can go back and say, hey, by the way, not a bad thing to start you twice this week, with 5 days rest. So he will have that kind of stuff. Now, for Yamamoto, too, when I saw him, and then I'm in a little more research talking to his manager, Hideki Kuriyama, I asked about the makeup and what makes him so special. He goes, this guy doesn't miss a beat. He studies hitters, his stuff. He knows how to adjust sometimes and slowing down his breaking ball to make it look more like the splitter. And just the fascinating stuff that they do with video and imaging and like designing pitches. They just go, this is way beyond, man. But this guy does have the ability to carve you out and perhaps, yes, be a number one. And I say number one because of the stuff and the success that he's had, but also velocity, deception, ability to carve you out, pitch ahead of the zone, and pitch in the zone a lot. Not a guy that walks a lot of guys. But also they say that cautiously because you cannot have a number one guy pitching once a week. But I do know that
That's a great point.
If I'm the guy that's going to get him, I am going to just keep that program and reintroduce him again to the big leagues gradually, knowing that I also got to save some arms and some bullets from him for October.
And with the mound being a little different, the ball being a little different, like you said, the schedule being different, do you think that's overblown as far as Japanese pitchers adjusting to the show? Of course, the hitters are different as well. Or do you think that's something that he's going to be able to handle and you can pitch?
It's reality. I mean, they do adjust to that. I mean, going back to Shohei Ohtani, spring training 2018, terrible. Couldn't pitch. He couldn't hit. And he never brought it up. But all the people that I spoke with, his former pitching coach, Hiroki over in Japan, said, Jose, the ball might be an issue because he does depend on the feel of the seams. And in Japan, the ball's a little tackier. Even the dirt on the mound is a little different in Japan than it is here in the U.S. And the way the mounds are configured in the U.S., ours are a little different. But Shohei never mentioned it. There was people around him saying it, but all Shohei kept saying was, it's different, but I need to adjust. I signed here for a reason. It is where I want to have success. So all these guys know that now, with a guy like Ohtani, obviously going back to Hideo Nomo, and the guys that have adjusted well, they adjust for a reason because they get over all these physical limitations and changes and know that there's a different brand of baseball, different teams you're facing 1 through 9. The scrappy hitter, that go the other way type of guy that exists a lot in Japan, that's disappeared a lot in the big leagues. The number 8, number 9 guy can hurt you with a home run, and they know how to go through that to know that the process is different. They need to adjust, but they understand more and more with more players having success or failures here that it takes way more than just the mound, the ball, the environment, or pitching once a week to come out here and make a name.
I love, if you like it, I love it. I mean, you got me all in on Yamamoto. I mean, I hear people talking about his height. I love you bring up Pedro Martinez. Had that work out for him. Guys like Mike Hampton, right? If you can pitch at this level, you can pitch.
Billy Wagner. I mean, there's a plethora of guys.
Absolutely.
Everybody is different. Then we can go, Doug, and talk about, wow, that perfect 6'3", 225 guy that was
Roki.
drafted because the scout says, wow, he can miss. Well, it doesn't work that way, but you can tell me all you want about sabermetrics and analytics and size and radar guns, but I measure here, man. measure the heart. You're still talking about a heartbeat with these guys. And when somebody has it, guess what? He just has it.
100%. So, yeah, you got people talking about, oh, would you rather get a Yamamoto on a $300 million deal or a trade for a Cease or a Burns? I mean, for me, I think I'd go with the unknown in Yamamoto with the potential that he had. You give Ohtani another W because I thought Ohtani wasn't supposed to pitch this season. Well, he's already been pitching to Glass now. He pitched to Yamamoto as far as pitching this organization and what's so great about it. So it'll be another dub for him. But last question I have for you, Jose, and I'll get you out here on this one. 1, do you have a dog? And 2, what's his name?
Now, the Dodgers already have 2 Japanese pitching phenoms in Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Ohtani will be back on the mound pitching for the Dodgers in 2025, but could they add a third? Well, there's a report out of Japan that the Dodgers could aggressively pursue Japanese phenom pitcher Roki Sasaki. And in my opinion, Roki Sasaki is the number 1 pitching prospect on the planet. He has more upside than any pitcher on earth right now. We're talking about someone who can hit 102 on the gun. We're talking about someone who has a lethal, electric, disgusting forkball splitter. He has elite command as well. He had a 5% walk rate in the MPB, a 34% strikeout rate. That's a 29% difference between your strikeout rate and your walk rate. That is jaw-dropping. And there's a report out of Japan that the Dodgers will be pursuing him. This is Roki Sasaki, a scout from the American League. The Dodgers want him no matter what. I heard that the timing was around the time I checked out Yamamoto's pitching at Kyocera Dome. It is said that the Dodgers sent Sasaki an autumn wave. The Dodgers have been keeping an eye, the Dodgers have been keeping an eye on Sasaki since his days at Ofunato High School in Iwate Prefecture. And in the spring of his 3rd year, Car and Pacific Rim scout director John Diebel traveled all the way to Tochigi to observe Sasaki's practice games. Even after he became a pro, Sasaki's data for each type of pitch has been accumulated and analyzed in detail by comparing it with the average for the majors. And you've already had Andrew Friedman go over to Japan and scout him. It's clear that this organization is extremely high on him. The next big question is, when does he become available? Because he's just 22 years old. We just got done talking about Yamamoto and how unique it was, the fact that he was available at age 25. Well, this is someone who's 3 years younger, and there is a lot of talk that he is trying to get his MPB club to post him next off season. And if that happens, you're going to have a massive bidding war for him. And we're talking someone who's absolutely going to get $400 to $500 million in a potential contract. And the Dodgers could absolutely be one of those teams. But like I said, he did turn 22 in November. He's young. He's extremely talented. And like I said, imagine a pitching staff. This is almost an embarrassment of pitches. Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, Glasnow, and Bobby Miller, and Sheehan. Walker Buehler probably won't be here unless he signs a more team-friendly contract if you get a Sasaki and he just desperately wants to be a Dodger. But can you imagine that starting rotation? It would be absolutely incredible. One for the ages, one that would match how powerful and explosive and talented their lineup is. So we'll definitely be monitoring any news with Sasaki throughout this year. Hopefully the Mariners decide to post him, because that would be incredible and they can get themselves a nice payday. And he's someone that he wants to do something that Ohtani did and play for less money, play on a minor league type deal and just a signing bonus. So Ohtani did it. Sasaki is really a phenom in his own right as far as being a pitcher. Of course, he doesn't hit and pitch like Ohtani does, but he's someone who is one of the best pitching prospects that we've seen in decades, that just has absolutely dominating stuff combined with command, combined with a lethal fork splitter that would be absolutely lethal at the big league level. So something very exciting to think about, and it just goes to show that this Dodgers organization, I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas anytime soon. I think they're trying to build a juggernaut. They're trying to win multiple championships. In fact, I asked you guys earlier over on Twitter, how many World Series titles would it take for this to be considered a success in Major League Baseball for the Dodgers? For me, I'm taking one title. Give me one title and it's not a bust. One title with Ohtani, it's not a bust. Anything less than that, this was a bust. But if you get multiple titles, then it becomes a massive success. Anything past one title in Major League Baseball, considering how hard it is to win in this sport, to me, makes it a massive success. I still think you could frame it as a success even with one World Series title. I know it's not asking for too much. Just give me one with a parade. I could die a happy man. But I think that it's just about adding to it. Can you have a dynasty? I think it's possible. But let's be honest here. Mookie, Freddie, how many years left do they have in their primes? Maybe 2, 3, 4? Will Smith under team control for another couple seasons, right? So you got a lot of these pieces. There's some moving parts here. You definitely have to win a World Series the next couple of seasons to absolutely crystallize this. They're the incomplete elite, right? When it comes to this team, you have to go out there and win a World Series title, but we'll dedicate a whole episode on that talk. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Definitely follow me on Instagram too. I'm starting to post some exclusive content over there as well as TikTok. So be on the lookout for that. And also post all the latest news on my Twitter as well. So be able to check that out. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And if you really want to support the channel, you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. Yes, I know it sounds like my voice needs Tommy John, like someone in the comments said a few days ago, but I'm getting better. This is how I'm going to sound after one inning of Ohtani in Dodger baseball. I don't care if I'm up in the press box. I'm going to make some noise, get kicked out, okay? It's going to be exciting. It's a great time to be a Dodger fan, and I love it. But I'll see you guys next time. And remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.